I never believed in ghosts. I always thought they were just stories people made up to scare each other. That's why I agreed to go to the graveyard with my friends on Halloween night. It was supposed to be a harmless prank, a way to test our courage and have some laughs. We arrived at the cemetery around midnight. It was dark and silent, except for the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustle of leaves. We brought flashlights and candles, but we decided to turn them off and rely on the moonlight to guide us. We wanted to make it more spooky, more authentic. We split up into pairs and agreed to meet at the entrance in an hour. My partner was Jake, my best friend since kindergarten. We had been through a lot together, and I trusted him more than anyone. We walked along the rows of tombstones, reading the names and dates of the deceased. Some of them were very old, dating back to the 1800s. Some of them were very young, children who died before their time. We joked and laughed, trying to lighten the mood. We made up stories about the people buried there, imagining their lives and deaths. We pretended to see ghosts and zombies, jumping out at each other and screaming. We had a blast. But then, things started to get weird. We noticed that some of the graves were open, as if someone had dug them up. We saw bones and coffins scattered around, some of them broken and rotten. We smelled a foul odor, like decay and rot. We heard noises, like moans and groans, coming from the ground. We felt a cold breeze, like a breath of death, on our necks. We stopped laughing. We stopped joking. We started to get scared. Maybe we should go back, I suggested, feeling a knot in my stomach. Yeah, maybe, Jake agreed, looking around nervously. We turned around and headed back to the entrance. But as we walked, we realized that something was wrong. The tombstones looked different. The names and dates were unfamiliar. The paths were twisted and confusing. We were lost. Jake, where are we? I asked, feeling a surge of panic. I don't know, man. I don't recognize any of these graves, Jake said, his voice trembling. We tried to find our way out, but it was hopeless. The cemetery seemed to have changed, to have grown larger and darker. We felt like we were trapped in a maze, a nightmare. We started to run, hoping to find an exit. But as we ran, we heard more noises, louder and closer. We saw more graves, more bones, more coffins. We smelled more stench, more decay, more rot. We felt more cold, more dread, more terror. We ran until we couldn't run anymore. We collapsed on the ground, gasping for air. We looked at each other, eyes wide with fear. We knew we were doomed. That's when we saw them. They emerged from the shadows, from the graves, from the night. They were pale and gaunt, with sunken eyes and rotten teeth. They wore tattered clothes and dirty shrouds. They had no flesh, no blood, no life. They were the dead, the undead, the living dead. They surrounded us, closing in on us. They reached out for us, grabbing us. They opened their mouths, biting us. They tore us apart, devouring us. They were the ghosts, and we were their story.